Welcome back to another midweek episode of Journey Unknown. If you're new to the channel, I'm Troy, and this is my beautiful fiancée, Laura.
Thanks, sweetheart.
So,
it's always too kind.
I have my moments where I'm not that kind.
Yeah, he does.
So does she.
Anyway.
So, the overwhelming support has been that people want us to continue with the midweek episode. So we're happy to keep chipping away and try to get as many midweeks out as we can to give you guys an informative view of travelling Australia.
Yeah. So these are all the facts and figures of the week that you've just seen in the episode. Hopefully you tuned into that Tuesday night. Got it out a little bit later again. So kind of mixing it up here and there, but there's a few reasons.
Not
for
intentionally.
That. Yeah.
That's just, some things get in the way, unfortunately.
That's right. So anyway, hopefully you've seen that episode, and now this will relate to what we've spent and what we did and things that happened along the way on that week. All right?
A fair bit happened.
Yeah. So first we're actually going to take you through a real map. So we got some comments about we need a map in there so people can pinpoint where we actually are. And it was a little bit hard to do that with the app that I'm using. So I thought, let's just go back to basics, because I'm actually marking out where we're staying on this anyway. So I will show you where we went, and Troy will be my cameraman.
Means I've got to get off me butt.
So our first stop for the night was actually in Victoria. That was at Lake Lonsdale, so we don't need to show you that. This is all South Australia. So we came up the main highway from Victoria, so through Tailem Bend, and we came to this stop here, Harndorf, and checked out that German town. Then we moved up to this first campsite here, Parham, which is on the eastern side of the Gulf. Then worked our way around the Gulf and stayed at a place called Parara, which is just south of Ardrossan. Okay, then we made our way cutting through the Yorke Peninsula near Point Turton. So Point Turton's here, but where we stayed is actually called Point Sutar, and that was Berners Beach that we absolutely loved. So that's on the western side of the Yorke Peninsula, protected by the wind. After 2 nights there, we moved up to, this says Port Rickaby. It's called Tapara Rocks. So it's just off the peninsula there. And we spent 3 nights at Tapara Rocks, which you would have seen in week 1's episode. From there, we made our way, checked out Port Victoria, Maitland, and then stopped here at Port Hughes and ended up spending 3 nights there. From Port Hughes we cut through Cardina, went past Port Broughton, went past Port Pirie, and all the way up to Port Augusta. So Troy and I came up to Port Augusta, restocked, and then came down here to what this says is Stony Point. It's Point Lowley, and we spent a night there in this beautiful little bay. Then from there we ventured to Whyalla to get some fuel, and then cut up the middle here, back on the A1 highway, which is the main highway around Australia, past Kimber. So Kimber is actually your halfway point of Australia. So took a photo there, chucked that in, and then come all the way up here. We just smashed it all the way to Ceduna, to our property in Ceduna, and spent 3 nights there. So that is our South Australian leg so far. Okay, so as you can see, we didn't go down the Eyre Peninsula because we have done that before. Our priority was to get to our land. So that's the map. Now you can visualize where we came from. So on the Yorke Peninsula from Tapara Rocks, we ended our last episode, and we finished it off at Ceduna.
Yeah, so I tried my luck at fishing once again. I'm getting some wonderful comments about my fishing abilities, so thank you very much for all those that are concerned about my capabilities of fishing. Because don't worry, I am as well. So Laura got me this attachment that you would have seen on the episode that you can take your bait out there. Unfortunately, we had a fairly big easterly wind, I think it was. It had a lot of side wash and stuff, and I flew the drone out there in a break in the wind, but there's still plenty of side wash, so it didn't really work out that well. I ended up losing all my rigs because of the weed there as well. I got caught on the weed, and it was a rookie error. I was very pleased with how the attachment and everything worked. It worked extremely well, and I will use it again on this trip. There's plenty of spots to do it.
So then the heat was actually going to really pick up, and obviously so was the wind. So we took off from Tapara Rocks, and we wanted to head to a caravan park and just freshen up, get some. Actually, we had an issue with the water because we weren't level. That's why we were going to leave. Yeah, that's right. The caravan wasn't completely level, and it was fine enough to sleep in and stuff, but we were wondering why we weren't getting water out. So I was looking at the app going, we've got plenty of water. It must be because we're on a fair bit of an angle and it's not pumping up properly. It didn't turn out to be that issue, but we decided to, because we had to move the van, we decided to hook up and just tail it. We'd already spent 3 days there. So 8:30 Saturday morning, and we have been at Tapara Rocks for 3 nights, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 3 nights. We were going to stay one more night, however, come look at this. We thought the caravan would be okay. We did put levelers down, but if you look at it from this side, without the sunshine, see, the caravan's on a lane that way. Even though we have plenty of water, if the caravan's not level, the water won't pump up. And so last night we couldn't put the dishwasher on, we couldn't even get water out of the tap. Anyway, we were going to stay and snorkel in this beautiful bay, but we need water, so we're heading off. Oh, so what we were going to do is we were going to move the caravan and get it level, but by the time we do all that, put the legs up, the awning up and stuff, we may as well just gone. So we're going to head into Port Hughes today, and I spoke to the caravan park there yesterday and they said that they have 2 sites available, so hopefully they still do. And it's going to be a scorcher. We'll have some luxury for one night because it's $60 a night there. Is this squid jig going to be alright just hanging here?
Yeah. Oh.
Alright, so we need to drive forward, get these levelers out, chocks out. Make sure all these are shut properly in the car. H, just clean your room and put all your dirty washing in the washing basket. Put your PJs under your pillow.
Just like that, we are done. Whoa.
Down. Where are you going, Lizzie? Where are you going? What's wrong? What's the matter? Alright, we got out of there pretty easily. Troy did a good job of doing a hard turn just slightly up the dune, but this is a massive site. So if I come back here, you can see how big this is. Technically it's a site for one, but if your neighbours don't mind, they'll have 2 of you in there. Yeah, so we thought we'd go to Point Hughes, and thankfully we did, because that's Port Hughes. That place was stunning. Yeah, we only had the intention of staying at the caravan park for one night, and the caravan park was just as nice as the beach and the location. So we were like, maybe we'll try and stay here for 3 nights. And luckily we did, because we all got to get some things done. Yeah. And we were also mindful of the fact that Dad and Harrison were about to leave as well, so we didn't want to spend most of our time driving around to different destinations. So we figured, let's just plonk ourselves at Port Hughes. Port Hughes. Yeah, plonk ourselves at Port Hughes, and we can just enjoy the weather for what it is. And as you would have seen, Dad
kicking back in the floaty, having a beer, and it was just relaxing.
Yeah,
the dogs really loved
dogs.
it. You know, Harrison caught a squid off the jetty and really wanted to keep doing it. So we really rated that place. It was beautiful.
The dogs had a ball on the trip, and it's a bit sad now without having Molly here with us. You know, Coco's just ridiculously by our side. But I want to put in some footage here of the dogs' time together because it was really cute and it made the trip enjoyable, that's for sure.
Coco.
Coco.
Get out.
Look at you.
What have you been up to?
You're a disgrace.
Have a look at you. Like the sand?
Yes.
Good
Good girl. Stay.
Good girl.
Coco, sit.
Okay.
Coco, sit.
Good girl. What's your favourite spot? The beach.
Yes! Good girl. That's a good girl.
If you're ever thinking about travelling with a dog, our suggestion is to do it. I know I always muck around and say don't bring dogs on tour when they because they do. They're like children, right? They get under your skin every now and then, but it's worthwhile. They're great companions.
It's good. It's nice for us to look back on the episodes and see the memories that they had as well. Alright, so moving on. So after 3 nights at Port Hughes, we had to say our goodbyes to Harrison and King Billy, and that was a little bit sad, which you would have seen in the episode.
That was sad. I'm sure they had a wonderful, amazing time. So, but like we said on the episode, they'll be back. So watch this space. It's not too far away that they'll be back on tour.
When we left Port Hughes, it was just Troy and I, so we're officially like starting the lap on our own now. And we made our way north towards Port Augusta, and that was an interesting town.
That was extremely hot.
Yeah, it was. And we have stayed there before. We actually spent a couple of nights there before.
Just wasn't that hot.
But this time, I don't know. We were in town, we did a bit of shopping, and it just didn't
feel that safe.
Have the right feels.
Yeah.
Wowee, it is hot. Hey, darling. Coozy?
So what is it, 39?
39.
Hot and dusty. Port Augusta. It's been a while since we've been here.
Oh, it's hot. Have a drink, darling. Caravan's filthy. Have a drink, sweetheart. Yeah, Mummy's here. Have a drink. Come on, it's hot. Can we?
Okay.
No.
No drink.
No, maybe when we get back.
It's hot.
Daddy gonna drink it. So we've stopped at Port Augusta to go to Big W and get a couple of supplies. So it took 2.5 hours to get here from Port Hughes. So it's actually a really good drive. No wind.
Towing like a dream.
Yeah, come on, girl. Oh. Not really sure what we're going to do with Coco, but we'll work it out. This is part of travelling with dogs. She can't sit in the car.
You've got to be mindful of the ground being so hot.
Yeah. If she pulls you, there's a reason. Toilet? Good girl.
So when we pulled up today, someone's had a fire here, but this does get up my goat a little bit. I don't know why people do it, but they do. Just got to put in the bin, boys and girls. The only reason why I showcase that is because places will just get shut down if you're going to leave crap lying around. But look at this pristine beach, and they've just left rubbish all in the fire pit. There's a bin literally 50 metres down the road. Like, it's not hard.
After an amazing night at Point Lowley, which we would have loved to have stayed one more night, but we had to get to Ceduna because we had to get our car serviced.
Yeah.
I started getting more and more tired and my throat was hurting, and I knew that I was coming down with something.
Yeah. Which is
anyway,
not a great combination when things don't go quite to plan.
It's not.
And someone's not feeling well.
But it meant that he did most of the driving because I just wasn't with it. And actually, as we drove to Ceduna, we stopped. We just pulled over on the side of the road. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we just, all three of us just came in here and slept
Just
on
had
the
a
bed
sleep.
for an hour.
We'll just wreck. The heat really took it out of us,
Yeah.
I think. So always be mindful, take a rest, drive to the conditions. If you feel a bit tired, just stop.
Just pull over,
Yeah.
sleep.
You can feel the heat out there. Scorcher. That way we won't get copyright. Just listen to me sing.
Is this song about me?
It is, darling.
Alright, we're not far off, only 53 minutes to Ceduna. And we are going to show you all around Ceduna.
It gets a bit of a bad rap, old Ceduna. And yeah, most people, obviously they prefer Streaky Bay, which is about an hour and 20 minutes down the road. But we think Ceduna's got a lot to offer, so we're going to show you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to do this. I'll get the jerry can out. It's the same one. Got it?
Yep. Anyway, we pushed on through after that and we made it to our property in Ceduna. So that was amazing to see after a couple of years.
Yeah, that was exciting. It was quite windy, which put a bit of a downer on it, but other than that, it was like we're still super excited about having that land. Yeah, it did get cold.
Super cold. Yeah. So we arrived in Ceduna probably Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, just bunkered down. Like, I think you put the drone up and
got
some footage of our boundaries and stuff.
It doesn't look like it's cut that.
Is this supposed to be the difference?
Yeah, both of them. Home sweet home.
It's cold.
It's been a while since we've been here. Alright, she's very barren. I did pay someone to do the slashing for us, but I don't know what's going on there. And the ocean is right there. Yeah, it's a good spot. It's going to be a little bit windier up here, but that's okay. So if we ever move here, this is probably where we'll put our house.
And then that driveway
That's
goes
a
around.
that's a track around to Dad's place, which is over here.
Come on, Keys.
Guess what, Coco? You don't have to be on the lead because you're home. Our first ever Ceduna sunset.
So moving on to the last day of the week is the Thursday, where we had our vehicle booked in at Ceduna Toyota at 8 AM. Now that was interesting.
Yeah, that was.
So we took the car in, and I booked this in quite a few weeks ago, and I asked them for a loan car because, you know, we're going to be without a car for what is normally a few hours, turned out to be a whole day. So luckily they gave us a loan car, a beaten up one, mind you. It had been in a car accident.
Yeah. Well, we're grateful that we got a car. It's a terrible day here. It's going to be interesting driving this hybrid. So, is that on?
When it says ready, yeah, it says ready, it's on.
Oh my god. Can't even hear it. Oh, if I like that.
So we were lucky enough to get a loan car, but they've given us one that's been in an accident. So I took a photo of the side of it because I saw it driving in, and it's a bit strange. But anyway, as long as we don't get charged for anything. They did mention that there's quite a few recalls on the 300s with intercooler nuts and stuff coming loose.
Well, nuts coming loose on the turbo, and they've had some intercooler issues that they said, and they'll check it out. So we'll let you guys know what happened with the Land Cruiser stopping on the snowy mountains.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can diagnose it.
They did say that we're one of the lucky ones that we haven't had a recall notice about it. I'm pretty sure they would have either emailed you or posted something to us.
Yeah, I haven't received anything.
So, or sometimes you'll get a text message from Toyota. But anyway, we're good. We've got a car now.
Let's go and get a coffee.
This Kluger hybrid's going to go off-road.
This too.
So we had that for the day and kind of like went into town and had breakfast at the bakery and stuff, and then but I was out of it that whole day. Like, you wouldn't have seen much of me on the footage, but that whole day I was in bed sick.
Laura wasn't really on tour then, so I took one for the team and went for a nice walk with Coco, as you would have seen on the footage. Just checked out the town and basically milled around a bit because it was quite windy. There wasn't a lot to do. There was no fishing or anything like that. Anyway, yeah, so we got the call to go and collect the car up, and it ended up being, you know, $120 or $30 over the cap pricing.
Yeah, so when you get a new car from Toyota, you've got cap price servicing, and that's the price it's supposed to be the whole way through for a certain period of time, unless there are things that need to be done to it.
Yeah, so we had, if you hadn't seen the episode on the Merimbula trip and the snowy mountain drive,
Bush one, yeah.
The car conked out going up that hill, so we had a lot of people actually ask about that have 300 series and want to know what was the cause of that problem. I suspected it was an intercooler problem at the time, but we mentioned it to Toyota because that's what you do. So on their behalf, they've gone and charged us to actually diagnose what that problem was, and they couldn't find what the problem was. So I questioned Toyota when I went to pick the car up. There was over $100 more, and she said, oh, well, we had to try to diagnose the problem of the car cutting out. And I said, well, isn't that part of a warranty thing? She said, yeah, but we didn't find anything. I said, oh, well, so you're trying to, what do you mean? We didn't make up that the card conked out. You know, like it actually happened. So it's not our problem that the car can't be diagnosed what the issue is. So she's like, oh, well, we've got to get paid for it, blah, blah, blah. And I was being really polite and diplomatic about it. And she goes, oh, do you want me to take 10 minutes off? I said, no, I don't want you to take 10 minutes off. But what I'm trying to say is the car's still under warranty, and to diagnose that problem should be covered under the warranty issue. Otherwise, every single time this happens, we come in and tell Toyota and say, yeah, the car's conked out. They turn around and say, sorry, we couldn't find the problem. It's going to cost you an extra $120, $130 to try to find it. Like, it just doesn't sit well. So I'm not sure if that's a Toyota thing all over, or is it just because of that particular franchise.
The funny thing is when we dropped the car off, they said, have you had any recalls and stuff? And I said, no. And they said,
oh, lucky.
You're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
There's been issues, a lot of issues with 300 series and the injectors,
turbos,
the nuts coming off the injectors.
No, the nuts coming off the turbos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And intercooler problems, and that's towing uphill. So just be mindful of that if you do have a 300 series. Like, it tows like a dream, and it's got plenty of power. But if you're constantly going up a really steep hill, towing a 3.5 ton van on a hot day, you might have issues, intercooler issues. So when the engine gets too hot, it just shuts down.
Yeah. So anyway, $474 later. That was our service at Ceduna, and I must say that when we first walked in and the receptionist was wearing an RM Williams t-shirt, I was really impressed. So moving on. Alright, moving on to facts and figures, or the figures. So last week, week 1, we spent $1,168.97. Week 2 total together, we are now up to $2,212.30. We have gone from $615 in fuel to $1,009.
Yeah.
We've taken our extra $100 cash out for the week each, so we're up to $400 with that. Groceries has gone up a lot to $327. Now, we worked out in Ceduna that we need to stop buying so much groceries. We need to start utilising what we've got in the van. But we tend to just more buy fruit and veggies, but then we'll think of other things that we need. So, for example, we've got a broom holder now.
Yeah, little things along the way, especially if you come across a hardware store or a Bunnings or something, you're always like, oh, that's right, I need to get that little clip for this or whatever. So that's, it's all part of the budget.
And you bought one of those Mortein plug-in things, or some
the flies were really getting to Coco a lot and annoying her, so I decided to get one of these little fly things that plug into your 240 volt. We'll see how that goes. We haven't used it yet because we haven't had to.
So all that comes out of the grocery budget. So I'll put all the figures in and you can see what we've spent. Accommodation's actually been pretty good. We've only spent $230 on accommodation for the whole trip.
Yeah. We've done a lot of free camping.
We have done a lot of free camping. Which is great.
So keep watching the episodes coming up, because you'll see some fantastic free camps along the Nullarbor.
Yep. And here, where we are now.
Yep. We're averaging about $1,100 a month, aren't we? A week, sorry.
100 a week, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of that fuel, obviously it gets more expensive as you go along. So we're fortunate enough to fill up in Ceduna, and that was $1.85. And then it just goes...
Remember we told you in our departure video, we're on our big lap where we introduced ourselves, and that we told you what our budget is, and we told you how much we made on YouTube in December, that $1,845. Well, we got paid that this month. So with YouTube, what you make in December, you get paid at the end of the following month. So we got that $1,800 in, and I'm like, perfect timing, because I need $1,000 of that to cover the fuel to cross the Nullarbor, and that's what we did.
Yep.
So instead of taking it out of our savings, I just used that money because
yeah, you have to.
we're moving so quickly that the budget's not adding up to the Ks being travelled.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ks, to date, well, to Ceduna, to date, we have travelled 2,211 Ks from Melbourne. So, yeah, we're making
days.
tracks.
Long days.
That's it.
And it will be, we're right at the moment now where we're just really slowing right down. So.
Yes. Do you want to tell them where we are?
Oh, they'll find out in the episode.
Okay. We don't do secrets.
Have a guess.
Have a guess. We're just in the van.
No, we don't do secrets.
No, we are actually bunkered down for 7 days in one spot. Can you believe it?
We're not far out of Esperance.
Yeah. But that's it, guys. That's the end of the facts and figures for week 2.
Facts and figures done. It's week 2. The facts and figures.
Week 2 facts and figures, and essentially we're in week 3 of travelling.
Yep. So the overwhelming support is just continue to be yourselves, and
Yes.
we sort of didn't have any other way to do it anyway. That's always been our mindset, just to be ourselves and try to give you an informative view of travelling. So so you can get something out of it. It's not just watching us muck around on the beach or anything like that.
And
so you'll actually get some. You'll get some real life knowledge of where to go, what it costs, the date.
The day, the location.
Yeah.
How much it costs to be there.
If it's windy, if it's the right time of the year to go or
temperature
not.
maybe.
Yeah. So thanks so much for all your support, all your comments, all your feedback, all your well wishes for Laura. It really means a lot to us to get some wonderful messages. If you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button, because that helps us create more videos for you guys to get information on Travelling Australia.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you next week. See you guys.